Hi, my small shop needs some workbench drawers. Let's go build some. Come on.
These voids will need to be repaired before I can start measuring for the drawer slats.
After lots of fumbling around with these, I finally got them to work and to slide pretty easily. Oop. Just put that back in there. Anyway, yes, it slides pretty easily now. The next step is to mount the other drawer slide. Then I'll have an actual measurement. That way I'll know what size my drawer box needs to be.
For the plywood bottom of the drawers, I need to cut a groove in all 4 pieces. All the pieces are cut. Now time for assembly. Here I'm adding screws to some holes that I had drilled earlier. I'll also attach the runners with some screws and glue. I left the drawer runners long so that I could get full extension. Now that the first drawer is installed, it's time to start thinking about the drawer fronts. I planed these drawer fronts out of white pine down to 3/4 of an inch. I found these drawer pulls and I really like the way they look, but they will need to be inset, so I traced out the outline. The upper 2 drawers were assembled the same, except that I used pocket holes.
So one of the things I wanted to show about these drawers that I haven't shown yet is that I made these with 3 different styles of drawer slides. The bottom one I made, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's an angle cut here and here, so it's almost like a, I don't know what you call that, but like a dovetail bit, kind of a groove in this piece of plywood for the bottom one. The one in the middle, now I made these two drawers narrower, so I ended up putting another piece of plywood on here to act as a spacer. I put just a square cut piece of plywood and then just two individual pieces, top and bottom, to kind of clamp it in place. These have a lot more slop side to side. I'm not real happy with that, but they work. They slide nicely. And then this one, I did the same thing, only in reverse. I put the slot on the drawer and the tab on the wall of the opening. So those two are opposite each other. They work similarly, but honestly, this one slides a lot better. So if I was going to do this again, I would probably make the top one, because this one took a lot of fine work with a chisel to get it to work right, and a lot of sanding. It was pretty finicky to get this to actually work right. This was pretty simple. So if you've taken the time to watch my video all the way through, thank you very much. This has been my first long form YouTube video. I showed you how the bottom drawer went together, how I just used butt joints and screws. I didn't actually use that same method for the upper two drawers. I used pocket hole screws with the Craig jig that I bought, and I wanted to show you that, but for some reason that footage is completely gone. So anyway, here's an example of what I did. Did the same thing on the front, but of course you can't see that because it has a drawer front on it. And this is shows you how long I left these so they could be full extension. They actually go into the stud bay. With my walls, there's plenty of room, so there's no reason for me not to do that. This was a rewarding project. It cleaned up a lot of the junk I had laying around, but the only problem is when you're acquiring tools and building out your workshop, you keep acquiring more and more and more, so you end up needing more and more storage. So this is not adequate for me anymore. Probably I could fill the entire bottom of this workbench with nothing but drawers, and that might be enough to handle everything right now. Maybe I inspired you to make your own drawers or gave you some ideas, maybe on some homemade drawer slides. This is like a extremely low budget movie at the moment, with one actor, one writer, one director, one cameraman, one editor. It's a lot. It's a lot to do. I don't know why I just stood up when I didn't say goodbye, but thank you for watching my video. Have a good day. Keep on making. I hope you have a nice, whatever it is when you're watching this, day, evening, or night.